as the title suggests, it isn't about educational, it's just a video about how do you study. Like, I got a suggestion from a friend to make a video on this, so here we are. So, people usually a week or a day before exam, they would just go like, what am I supposed to do now? I didn't study. So, about this, you should have studied from the start, of course. There isn't some rocket science technique to get everything in your head just before the exam. Like, of course, there isn't. So, the thing you can do is like from the start, of course, no one is that interested in studying, let's be honest. No one is literally gonna be like, there's like a month or 2 months, let me start studying now. No, no one literally does that unless you're one of the few top persons. So, how do you study a long time before exam? So, there's this thing like there are techniques such as you know the techniques like let me type some more clearly. Pomodoro, or Feynman, or blurting method. I mean, there are techniques, but then let's be honest. Can you really study using any of these techniques if you don't even want to study? You don't even have the mindset to study. If you don't literally want to study, knowing you have to study, or if you're in that procrastination stage where you're just deciding should I study or just play that game or watch that episode I was in mid of, or anything that you can think of. How are you gonna study using these techniques if you don't even want to study, right? I mean, it's common sense. Like, Pomodoro technique goes like you study for 25 minutes, take a break of 5 minutes, and that goes on for 4 cycles, and then you take a break of 15 minutes. Yeah, that's how it is. But how are you going to study if you don't even want to study? Like, what are you going to do in this 25 minutes if you don't even have the mindset to study? Like, are you just going to stare at your books like, should I study or not? And then as the 25 minutes get over, you just go to your phone for 5 minutes and then back to 25 minutes of procrastination. That's the end. And Feynman goes like, you study in a sense that you explain it to a 12-year-old. You study in such a way. But how are you going to study in such a way if you don't even want to study? And blurting technique is like, after you study, you just blurt out whatever you can think of in a book or a paper, and then it helps you to recall whatever you studied. But to all of these techniques available on internet, like I just mentioned three of them, but there are a lot of them. But to use any of these techniques, you need a mindset to study, right? So for this, obviously, let's be honest, you wouldn't study if you don't even have the mindset. So about the mindset. So if you ask me, I do none of these techniques, literally none of them. I mean, they're efficient and all, but it's just not my cup of coffee. I don't mean to sound proud, but what I do is like, if let's say there's an exam and I have to complete a certain topic, there's this mistake people do, like when you set a timetable, and then you keep times like, in this time I'm gonna study this, in this time I'm gonna study this, and this, and this, and this, and you somehow think this timetable is a waste. Like, yes, it is a waste. Timetables are never gonna be successful. The timetable you have to set is something different. You just have to keep it like, you just, you know, take your subject, let's say physics. Alright, so the number of topics you have in physics, like so, and then another topic, and another topic, and so and so. And then you just classify them as important ones, non important ones. And then classify them as easy, difficult. And then start doing the importance and easy ones first, then go to difficult, and then non important ones. And while studying, don't do this thing like for 9 to 10 o'clock or something like 3 to 5 o'clock, I'm gonna study physics, and with that, I hope I'll finish. No, your aim should be like, what I prefer is, if you have a lot of time before your exam, let's say you have like a month, you're gonna do this. Take your time and the whole day just dedicate yourself to one single subject. Yeah, this is something people oppose to, but that's what I do. I mean, dedicating yourself to one whole subject would definitely make you crazy or go insane, but it would give the result. It would give the result, and that's all matters. Be insane or not, result is what it matters. Marks are what matters. Like, some of you all might be people who study from previous or question papers and you still get the marks right. But what's the use if you don't even know the concept? If you don't know what's the concept, what are you gonna do? So yeah, what I do is I just sit for hours. I don't really keep a timer or anything. I just sit. I have time right now, I'll sit and I study. And about the mindset. So to develop the mindset, first you're gonna do this thing. Give 30 minutes to yourself or 1 hour, depending on how you are. So then you're gonna do this. Keep your phone aside, sit and keep your book open. Stare at it for 30 minutes. Like, yes, 30 minutes or 1 hour, depending on you yourself. Just stare at it and just, even if you have the urge to like go back, use your phone or watch that episode you were in mid of or anything, just forget it. Just stare at your book. You don't need to study, you don't need to read, you don't need to understand. Just stare at it until you just feel bored of this whole thing and your mindset starts to develop in a way you have no choice but to study. Your phone is aside, your book is in front of you, you're not doing anything right now. The whole guilt is gonna come onto you and you would study. That's how you develop the mindset. And after you develop the mindset, you can maybe use these techniques or any, there is a lot of techniques. One of the techniques that I came across was like, it was like you keep 3 boxes, and then one box you keep the easy ones, like the easy concepts as in the flashcards, and in one the medium ones, and this would be difficult. All right, and these box is something you would revise every day, and this is something you revise every 3 days, I guess, and this one once a week. And this is how you study. There was this technique, I don't know what, and there was another technique of 80 20 something. You can just search this up and you can. So that's all for the video, and there are no timestamps to this video because I want you to watch the whole video. Alright, so that is it. Goodbye. Have a good Sunday and see you all in the next video. Goodbye. Please like, share, and subscribe.